All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we have a question in mind. Loyalty versus contention, loyalty versus ring chasing. I was tuning into the Warriors versus Sun game, and watching the game, it was very apparent. And I've said it, earlier in my videos, the Suns are not a good team, and they're not a good team. Devin Booker, though, is a really, really good player, and it's an unfortunate situation for him. Obviously, it's a situation that he chose to be in, because if you weren't paying attention this summer to the Suns, which I don't blame you, he did sign a 2-year, $145 million maximum contract extension that'll keep him with the team through the 2029-2030 season. So it's looking like he's going to be a lifer with the Suns. Or maybe he pulls a Dame. I don't know. You look at his situation and you think, okay, so many players get hated on for leaving their situations or wanting a trade or whatever the reason because they want to compete. So many players. It's a very common theme here. But then you look at a situation like Devin Booker to where it's like, okay, the alternative is to stay there and just rot in Phoenix. He's literally in his prime. He's playing amazing. He's averaging 31 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 7 assists. If you look at the standings where the Suns are, they're 3-5 at the 12th seed right now. Obviously, it's very early in the season, but I promise you the Suns are not good. Let me explain why. Let's take a look at their roster. Grayson Allen, solid. Kobe Bria, Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin, Jalen Green, who hasn't played yet, Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn. I mean, just names that you don't want to see paired with Devin Booker, because who is the second best player on this team? Jalen Green when healthy. Right now, since he's not healthy, Grayson Allen. Mark Williams hasn't been all that special. It's been crazy to watch it and see Devin Booker perform at such a high level, and then the team is just not good. And we'll look at some film here, but more so just to highlight the fact that we blame players for leaving, sometimes rightfully so, because it feels like betrayal, if that's your team. But at the end of the day, the league's gonna trade you. Look what happened to Luka. Players like Luka, other players, if you think that's just a lone example, fair enough. Other players will get traded, like Desmond Bane, where you feel like, oh, this is the place where I'm at. Karl Anthony Towns, this is the place where I'm at. And you get shipped the moment your team believes that they can do better without you. Which, in Devin Booker's situation, he would do much better somewhere else, but he's staying, being loyal. At what cost? Is he going to win a championship in Phoenix? No, not anytime soon, is what it looks like. Devin Booker is one of those players to where he's a special player, doesn't get talked about enough because he hasn't been on a run since that, what was it, 2020? 2021? Was it 2020? I can't remember. It's been a long time since, the Suns went to the finals. I think it was 2020. Keeping it going, though, just talking about him being on this team, he has the patience, being able to get to his spots. He's facing a lot of doubles. You see it here. Quinn Post, Kuminga are definitely in his radius. But again, the patience that you see often with Devin Booker is finding and getting to his spots. And that's all he does here. And, you see this and you're thinking, there's nothing crazy about this. The focal point about this is through the doubles, through the focus from the defense. He's one of those players, a high-powered offensive player who, you leave him any space, he's going. He can shoot from the three. He can shoot from the midi. Knockdown free throw shooter. Of course, good at slashing. Good floater. Just really consistent. And you saw what Team USA, he can play defense. He can lock down. Over the course of the regular season, you're not going to see that level of intensity, but it's one of those things to where this is just, it's so unfortunate because not enough people are going to be able to watch this. Devin Booker at the top of the three-point line, attacking left here, immediately sees a body in Podziemski, has to stall out. And the patience here is pivotal. It's that little pause here. Let's go back just briefly. A little bit more than briefly, apparently. But checking this out one more time. That brief pause is enough to make Podziemski go back. So he pauses like he could pass out. Podziemski has to go back. And what do you have it? You attack again. Of course, Devin Booker, wherever he goes, he's seeing that extra body. Steph Curry pulls up. I'm here. I'm showing Booker. Look at the way his feet are. He's going to rotate here, in which he does. Pump fake, then immediately goes up. The reason for this pump fake is not necessarily to make Trayce Jackson-Davis jump and go for the block. I mean, of course, you'd like that, but it's not necessarily just for that. It's also to say that, hey, the second time I'm going up, you might think it's a pump fake, so you won't fully sell out on me shooting, but I will shoot. So because Trayce Jackson-Davis can't sell out, gets a good contest, it's not enough to stop Devin Booker. And this is the kind of stuff that is hidden away from the league right now. Not enough fans get to see this. And it's high power offense from him alone. He had 38 this game, but we're going to continue to see just really, really, really good offensive possessions. I'm not even going to say possessions. We're just going to see buckets. We're going to see Devin Booker get buckets. Instead of seeing, a successful Suns team where Devin Booker is shining on a really good team, you're seeing him getting doubled like this with a score on the right, where I'm aiming right now, 40-62. Getting doubled like this all the time. I mean, look at this. Just completely has to pass it out. It works out really well here because it gets to Mark Williams. Mark Williams goes up. But it's one of those things to where he's going to continue to see these doubles. And then you look at his box score line and you're like, how is he averaging 31 points per game? And then the answer to that question is, well, look at this. I mean, his ability to create, his patience, pump fakes, this is all in slow-mo. But there's one thing you notice consistently with Devin Booker. It's his ability to be patient. And 31 points per game when you're seeing doubles is tough. But if you wait for your openings, you wait to get in your spots. I mean, you're shooting a lot of shots per game, but you're doing it at a pretty good rate, all things considered. Just a really solid pump fake there. Comes across here. He knows Kuminga's on his back. So all he's got to do here is put his body into him, which is exactly what he does. Create contact, get the and one. And it's just a travesty to me that this is a player who we're not going to be talking about for probably years to come as long as he's in Phoenix. I mean, look at this. This is just tough basketball. You got two bodies on you at all time, and you have help side after the help side here. But Devin Booker, patient with it, bodies into him, step back, gets to his spot, pull up. It's that classic style of, NBA basketball. When I say classic, I truly mean like back in the old days to where middies, man, middies. And we're just going to rinse and repeat, right? Getting to his spots, being patient, gets the screen there, forces Quinn and post on him, completely just attacks, get to his spot, pull up. It's the classic style of NBA where middies just reign supreme. And I promise you, it's not like this is his only shot. He can do everything on offense. The same way that we say KD is just a pure scorer, there's a reason why KD wanted to play with Devin Booker, is because Devin Booker, very similar, right? Obviously not as natural of a scorer, as gifted of a scorer as Kevin Durant, which is a high bar, but same thing. He can hit a three. He can hit a midi. Really, really, really elite at the mid-range shot. Really just elite at scoring, but the mid-range shot, of course. And then he can attack. Tell me this isn't classic NBA basketball, bro. Dude's got his back to the basket at the three-point line like he's going to walk him down. Tell me this isn't classic. Just traditional. Reminds you of like Kobe Bryant, man. Okay, going to Devin Booker here. Gets it. Completely just attacks to his favorite side. This is somewhere we've seen him pull up twice now. But here it's just a straight line drive to the basket. Goes up. Contested finish. Good finish. Bucket. Tell me this isn't classic NBA style. Booker just completely boxing him out. Okay. Gets the ball. Immediately attack left. Gonna use a push off here. Legal push off because it's not to the point where his arms extending too far. But then steps back and pulls up. Tell me that's not Kobe-like. Like that sequence. And we know Devin Booker loves Kobe Bryant. So you got to believe that, some of that rubbed off on how he wanted to play. That is smooth, man. That is buttery smooth. And you see players try to replicate this. Like Brandon Ingram tries to do that often too. The only thing is that separates, Brandon Ingram from a Devin Booker is just how often it works. And with Devin Booker, it's consistently like, you're going to have a hard time stopping me because if you sell out on the step back, I can finish it. And guess what? If you give me too much space from the three, I'm a good 3-point shooter. And then after all that, Suns lose 107-118. But, look at the box score. 38 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 3 boards, 39 minutes. At what point do we really think, okay, is it worth it to be loyal? Like, for my own legacy, Devin Booker's got a family, he's happy, or maybe he doesn't have a family. Maybe he's on his own, but he's happy being in Phoenix. That's one thing. But if Devin Booker ever wanted out, are we really going to shut on him for that? Like, that seems... I don't know. I personally am of the opinion to where it gets to a point to where if the team's timeline and your timeline don't mix, it's fair for both sides to go separate ways. Because let's be honest, the Suns, if Devin Booker wanted out, I don't think they'd be upset. I think they'd be like, dude, we need to rebuild anyway. We gotta get some youngins up in here and get some draft assets and just completely rebuild. Because every single team in the NBA would want Devin Booker. There's not a team who wouldn't. Now, obviously, do they have the assets is an entirely different question. Someone who, again, we've seen it in the USA Olympic team. He can be a great defender. We saw it in the Olympics. We literally saw it. And then he's a super reliable scorer. One of the most reliable scorers in the league. Bulls, Sixers, Pistons, Bucks, Heat, Knicks, Cavs. Like, I don't care what team it is. They would love to have a Devin Booker player. Devin Booker himself. And it's not even a question, right? You get into that mindset of, but he's only an offensive player. I'm telling you, you put him in a role to where you take a huge offensive load off of him. He can play really good defense. And I have to say this for like the 5th time, but we saw it when he got gold with Team USA. Great defense. Is loyalty over contending better? If Curry were to, let's say, stay on the Warriors and they sucked, I think that's different because he already has 4 rings. But Book's got none. And we saw it with Dame. He wanted to be a Blazer forever, but it's like, okay, our timelines really don't fit. Went to the Bucks for 2 years, back with the Blazers. Is Booker really, like, as good as he is? I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, he's already got that trajectory, Hall of Fame career, without question. He's just super talented, but you don't want to ring? Like, go ring chase? Go to the, let's see, who realistically could, I gotta ask myself, who realistically could even trade for Devin Booker? Oh, Jesus. Devin Booker on the Spurs? I don't think the Spurs would. But if Devin Booker was on the Spurs, oh my God, that would be crazy. Let's say Suns get Dylan Harper, some picks, other stuff, but Devin Booker on the fucking Spurs would be crazy. Oh my God. Book, please just ask out, bro. Like, I'm a Laker fan, so I'm not saying this in the interest of the Lakers, but I'm saying this in the interest of, like, someone's got to compete with the Thunder. You know what I mean? Because Thunder are really reigning supreme as of right now. They're 8-0. They're without J-Dub, and they're still this good. But I'm also just a fan of top-tier basketball. I love that kind of stuff. Nuggets and Devin Booker on the Nuggets would be unreal. And you think about last year, like, but KD and Booker didn't work. Dude, look at the surrounding team. They had 2 players. Everyone else was not good enough. I mean, Grayson Allen was good enough. He's a good role player, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it's more, winning basketball is more than just 2 players. You have to have the right luck with, injuries, and you have to have the right luck with the surrounding roster. Because as a player, you can't necessarily control what the GM puts forth. He's just really good, and it feels like, not everyone really talks about him. Granted, who would? He's on the freaking Suns. But anyway, I greatly appreciate you guys for watching. For the like, subscribe, because along with the channel. As always, this is Ollie Been Different. Always been different. And we out.